All right, let's hit it. All right, what to do, everybody? This is episode 28 of the Games for Fools podcast. Here with my co-host, Bimmer 8K, baby. What's up?
Yeah, what's up, Bliskin? Good to be back. Episode number 28, I believe, right?
Number 28, man. The
Number
numbers are so
28.
high. Leonardo DiCaprio would not fucking. It would just you. If we were a girl, he would have broken up with us. Dude. We're too fucking
Oh,
old, man.
yeah.
Cheap
Get too
viewers
old.
on
Yeah, dude.
streamboo.com. Remove the
All right,
space
so
at
let's get
JZZ Tech.
into before we talk about what we're playing. We're gonna talk about some of the PS Plus games that they're out for August, and those games are Liza P, DayZ, and My Zero One's Justice 2, which is a game based off of My Hero Academia. That's an anime, I think. And so, like, what are your thoughts of the August month?
Seems pretty solid. I think the My Hero Academia is like an anime. I've heard about that before.
Okay,
Never watched it, but I've heard about it. And what was the other game?
DayZ.
Oh, Daisy, yeah. Never played it, but yeah, it's good to be free. I think it's like is it a survival? Like online survival, right?
Yes, kind of like
Yeah,
a 7 days to die kind of deal. But I would imagine without the
right.
survival horror stuff, not exactly sure.
Okay, and Liza P, is that included or is that part of the other package?
That's part of the essential, so the base.
Essential. Oh, that's great, dude. Liza P. I mean, I haven't beat it. Got about halfway through. That shit is fire, man. So that's a great value. Plus, it worked out for you, right? Because you said that you haven't played the DLC. So there you go.
Exactly. The DLC dropped very recently, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean the
Yeah.
way I kind of consume my games is I beat them, I play the DLC if it's out, and and then I sell it to GameStop to get my full money back when it comes to like GameStop Pro Week. So I did that, and this is before the announcement of DLC, and I was like shit. But then, like you said, it got announced, and I kind of got lucky in that way because I can just run the DLC, for free.
Yeah. And pretty quickly too. I think the DLC came out in June, so you only had to wait like 2 months.
2 months, and I mean, the reviews are pretty good on that DLC. The game overall is very good. I think it's the best Souls like out right now. Like there's like even we talk about like Neo 2,
Yeah.
Sekiro. Like this, in my opinion, this is the favorite that I played outside of FromSoft.
Yeah. I mean, from what I played, I would agree.
And the game is really tough. Like it's rough. Like you can you could spawn people to help you out, but there I believe you can only do AI. There's no real life players.
Yeah, I believe that's true. Like when I played it, what I liked about it is that I play like with the very like heavy damage, so I would always use charged attacks. And so like it's a very risk reward play style, but man, when you hit those and you get the stuns, like it's so satisfying. And I like how the game lets you kind of play that way.
Yeah, man. Highly,
Yeah.
highly recommended for players of fans of FromSoft. You like Neo, Sekiro, Bloodborne. This one's a little faster paced, not like the Dark Souls, and I kind of prefer that side to that kind of gameplay because it's I love Dark Souls. That was my introduction to that whole style game. But for me, like looking back, it's a little too slow, too clunky, too awkward. And I definitely prefer Bloodborne, your Neos, your faster paced style Souls games.
Yep.
But yeah, man, that's it for August. Let's talk about what we're playing. I'll go ahead and go first. I just wrote credits on a game called Republic, published by Gunho, and this is a top-down stealth game, kind of in the vein of older MGS games in the sense that there's fixed camera angles, but you could kind of move them. They're positioned as cameras in corporate buildings or restaurants or stores, and so you have some range of motion, but it's pretty limited. But the game is really interesting because you play as a woman who finds herself in the captivity of a authoritarian state, and her whole goal, the goal of the whole game, is to escape. And so you're 30 floors underground, and you have to get to the surface. And so you kind of make friends with an unlikely ally, and It's interesting because the game does a really cool thing where every guard has a name and address and bio that's unique to them, and every single guard that you meet is based off a person who kickstarted the game. And so for people who don't know what Kickstarter is, that's a website where you can donate to game developers or filmmakers or whatever that are in the production of a piece of media. So, for example, in this case, they're developers of a game. So, these people were supporting the game as they were making it before the point of purchase. You know what I mean? And so, every single guard you scan, it's going to show like their name, a made up like felony charge, medical like list of ailments, their height, their weight, their eye color, and their picture, and also the country of origin. And so every single guard will have its own person because every guard is a person who actually supported the game before release. So it's a really unique thing I've never seen a game developer do, and it's really cool thing to see.
Yeah, usually those unique stuff, you usually see it from like Kickstarter type games, more independent stuff where they can be a little more creative, I'd say.
Right. That's kind of the whole appeal to me of any games because you can they take since there's no financial risk, they can just take any kind of creative risk they want, and if it hits, it hits, and if it doesn't, then they try again. Like that's how we got like Gone Home. That's how we got Journey. A bunch of these amazing indies that we cherish because they just didn't have didn't have to direct 500 team 500 people, like a Ubisoft or Activision,
Right, yeah.
but back to the game. The game is very good. It's a stealth game. um, no combat. It's very much of like non-confrontational. It's tech based, so it's got some Watch Dogs influence. You're kind of manipulating alarms and people and like gadgets around the area to kind of distract and stuff. But I would easily recommend it to fans of the earlier Metal Gear games. I would recommend it to people who like Watch Dogs, maybe even Deus Ex. And yeah, it's definitely worth your time. About 10-hour game, so not very long. And there are some very interesting voice actors like David B. Hayter, who is a voice actor of Solid Snake. Jennifer Hell, who also voiced, I believe, Naomi in the Metal Gear series. So there's some
Oh,
hefty
wow.
voice
I think
actors
I've
in
heard
that.
about her. Yeah, that's cool.
hmm But yeah, that's it for Republic. I also just beat Mad Max, which is a game developed by Avalanche. These guys made um, what is the name of that series? Not Far Cry, Just Cause. They developed some of the Just Cause games, and I played Just Cause 2 or 3, whichever one was on the PS3. I played that one. I enjoyed it. Mad Max is a very different game though. It's a third person like combat driving game with some hand to hand combat inspired by like Batman Arkham series. And the thing about this game is that to me, it doesn't really do either of these things well. Like it tries to do the racing, the combat racing thing. I didn't like it. Hand to hand combat was okay. It felt really clunky, very slow. And then the story was fine to me. Like the attraction of the game was like the ambiance and the setting, the tone. I don't know. It didn't really it just didn't hit for me. I don't know. I thought this would be an interesting change of pace because going from like a stealth game Republic to this like a very action oriented racing combat game, which I haven't played in many years
Yeah.
since like my Midnight Club days. And so I thought it would. I don't know. I thought I would gel with it a little better, but I don't know. Maybe I outgrew it, or maybe it's the game didn't hit with me, or both. But I don't think I would recommend this game. I don't know. Wasn't great graphically, amazing. Um, some of the characters were written pretty well, but overall, just I don't know. Didn't wasn't feeling it. It was one of those games where like I'm already 60% through. Let me just fucking power through it and see it to the end.
Yeah.
One of those games.
Oh, yeah. I know those games, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so now to the game that I'm currently playing. I'm playing Stalker Lies, Stalker Shadow of Chernobyl. This is a first-person game. It's a remake, no, a remaster of a was it PS3 generation game, right?
Oh man, it depends. Like
I
some
think
of
it's
them are old, like older games. But the one that I played, I don't remember the name, but it is
it's like
it's around that time.
around
Yeah,
that time.
it
PS2,
seems like
PS3.
360, maybe PS2. Yeah, because there's three of them. So I think the one I played is like the newest one, which I think came out around like the 360 Xbox. Yeah.
Hmm. So I'm playing the first of that trilogy, which it would be Shadow of Chernobyl, and the whole premise of this game is that you play as a soldier who is being transported to get killed, and some explosion happens, and you survive, and you get recruited to join the Stalkers, which is essentially this group of people who were around the explosion that caused this entire post-apocalyptic like kind of vibe, and you survived, and now you're trying to find items of value to sell to make money to make a living, and you're basically like you're like a mercenary, and that's it for the story. That's basically it. You're a soldier, you're surviving, and that's it. And the gameplay is in first person. It's very survival based. It's a very different pace than your typical FPS because this is a first person perspective game, and your accuracy is fucking terrible in this game. No matter what you do, no matter what weapon you're using, no matter how you're aiming, no matter
Yep.
what, it's rough. You have to for the best accuracy, you have to stop, crouch, and ADS. That's the only way you can get decent accuracy. And even then, the weapon spread is like think of like when you use a shotgun, the crosshair turns into a circle and it's pretty wide. That's your radius at all times. Oh boy. And okay, we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
And what was I saying? So your radius for your accuracy is very very loose, and I think the best strat for that game is just tap fire. And even though I'm using like a 8K with auto fire, I'm using like a semi-auto rifle. I'm just tap 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 like that kind of deal to get the best accuracy. And even then, it's still kind of like 50-50. But it's very very brutally hard. It's you if you are not on top of your game for like 1 or 2 seconds, you will die. Like even on 1v1 is tough. Like you could get fucking melted. 2v1, forget about it. Like you don't take cover, you're done. And so it's very difficult. However, I like it. It's interesting because it's very intense. You have to play very methodically. You have a limited source of ammo, of health items, of anti-radiation medication, of everything really, and so it's interesting. It's a very different pace, very different pace,
Yeah,
but I like it.
it is.
I like it. I would recommend it to people. It's very much of its time. It's clanky. It's fucking. There's some frame rate drops. It's not perfect, but it's
Yeah.
it's I don't know. It's rewarding. I guess that's the best way I can put it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I played that one. I think that's the one I played, Shadow of Chernobyl, because I played that on PC in 2022, and it was hard, man. I remember I died a lot. Again, on PC, I had easy access to like quick save, so I used
Mm-hmm.
that a lot. But yeah, even with a mouse, it's tough. Like you got to be on point, you got to be accurate. I can remember this part where like I had like a sniper, and I was like, I found this perfect spot to where I could kill everybody and not get shot because how hard that level was. And somehow I missed one and he just one shot me, dude. And I think I
Jesus.
was playing on normal. I wasn't playing on hard difficulty, you know. It's just how the game is.
I'm playing on normal and it feels like I'm playing on very hard. Like if this was like a game in
Yeah,
2025, the normal would be very hard. That's how difficult it is.
yeah.
The game also features these things called what do they call abnormalities? No, I forget something like
Oh, I
that,
talk
right?
about those they're like crystals, right? And they have like radiation around them.
Yes.
Yes,
And
yeah.
so there's strange occurrences that happen in that game, like the one you just mentioned. There's also somewhere, for example, for one mission, I had to cross this underpass to get to the next area, but there was like these miniature lightning strikes happening within the bridge, and you have to time it correctly or else you get struck by lightning. And it
Oh
does such
yeah.
a massive amount of damage, plus a stun, which opens you up for more lightning strikes. So you have to again really be on your
Yeah.
shit, and you have to time it really well. You also have an auditory indicator, kind of like a beeping thing. So the closer you get to the danger, the faster it beeps. But man, it kind of leads me to like the some of the things I don't like about the game. Like the audio design is fucking terrible, man. Like the game does this thing that's like a huge pet peeve of mine, where when you switch from either you equip a weapon or you put it away, it does this sound like if you're slowing down time in a video game, like a Max Payne or something like that. Like
Yeah.
it's so annoying. Like, and you put it away. Like I don't know why. You're just
I don't
putting
remember
it.
that, but that's funny.
It fuck. And there's only there's because this is an old game. The audio, like the audio settings are very minimal. It's like literally one slider for special effects and one slider for music. That's it. So I can't tweak it. I have to put it to fucking 40% if I don't want to be annoyed by it. But then I'll be missing out on everything else because
Yeah.
this game and the moment to moment sequences, there are no music. There's no music. There's only like it's there. Everything is like atmospheric, like wind, lightning, rain, stuff like that. And it will go from nothing to gunshots in a moment's notice because that's just how like I don't know how would I what's the word for this, like minimal, I suppose. That's how minimal the game is in terms of audio
Yeah.
design. And so it's really intense. Like it'll go from quiet, a moment of respite, to fucking shots like this in a moment's notice. So it's like it'll scare the shit out of you. And so a lot of the sound in this game pisses me off, but the game's good enough for me to see it through. I'm liking it a lot. It's different. It's very different FPS, and I like that. So yeah, that's it for me, man. For shit that I'm currently playing. What about you?
Yeah. So for the past 3 weeks, I haven't really played much. But prior to that, I was playing Near Automata, and I'm still playing it. Like I'm still not done with it. And but it's an interesting experience with this game because the first like I want to say like maybe 10 hours, I really wasn't liking the game, man. I was like, I'm not really understanding. Like I just wasn't getting a grasp of it. It's weird, but there was something about it that just kept me wanting to play. Right, I liked it. But the combat was pissing me off. You know, it's a very obtuse game, and it just I don't know what it was. It just didn't click with me. And then around hour, I want to say like 14, 15 hours in, it should just click, man. And like I think a lot of that had to do with I finally was understanding how the game plays. Like the gameplay is made by Platinum Games, right? So the it's made by Platinum. It's published by Square Enix, right? And this game came out in 2017, I believe. And so Platinum is known for their action games, right? They made like Bayonetta, right? And so it's weird because in the beginning of the game, you don't really get a whole lot of stuff, right? It's very basic, the attacks, right? You got your light attack, your heavy attack, you got your it's like a pod, right? So it kind of shoots out projectiles. It's kind of like a geometry. I think it's called what are those reso guns? It's kind of like that where you're shooting projectiles and kind of like avoiding projectiles, kind of like Returnal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Like
it's an
bullet hell.
interesting blend. Yeah, like bullet hell. It's very interesting, and you can aim the pod too. So it's a very interesting combat style, and something that I hadn't really played before. And I think that's why it kind of took me a while to kind of figure it out. Um, but even like the mission structure in the beginning, like the narrative, I just wasn't understanding. It wasn't clicking with me, and I was very close to putting the game down, right? Because at that point, I had just done some quick Google searches to try to see, hey, does this get better, right? And pretty much every search I saw, it was like 50-50. It's like either you're liking it now or you're not, but it does get better, so it's up to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I'm gonna play it for the rest of the night and see if it clicks. And that's when I started to kind of progress the story forward a little bit more. I started to level up my chips. So they're called like it's basically like your skill points, right? So there's certain chips, and so it gives you extra damage, extra projectile damage. If you want like a healing, like a little like period of time where you get like auto healing. You could do that. I chose that one. It helped a lot because I was getting my shit rocked in this game. It was hard. I didn't get the combat and everything. So I started to work on my chips. I got a new weapon and I changed my controls. That's one thing in this game. The default controls are terrible, bro. They just don't make sense to me, man. It's just like, because one thing that I've gotten accustomed to from having a DualSense Edge controller, right, is like being able to control the camera at all times and still be able to initiate action sequences, right? Like I'm not lifting my thumb to reload, or I'm not lifting my thumb to jump or hit or attack. So I remapped my stuff to where I can use all the attacks. I have full control of the camera and I can aim my pod, which is very vital for the combat. And I'm telling you, man, it opened up the combat for me. Like the combat system's amazing, man. Especially like later in the game, it's just incredible. And it's very fun and very hectic, and I like the game a lot. And this game is interesting in the sense that like you have to beat it multiple times to get the full narrative experience, right? So when you beat it the first time, the game tells you at the end, um, like welcome, right? Welcome to Near Automata. Like to get the full experience, play it again, right? And I'm like, this game benefits from multiple playthroughs, and I was like, that's kind of strange, right? Never
Right.
heard of that before,
Would
but I
you
looked it up.
sorry for interrupting. Would you
Sorry.
consider this game like a roguelike?
No, I don't think it is a roguelike. I think it's just a very unique way of doing the game because when you do a second playthrough, it's not the exact same thing, right? Up to a certain point, it's just that there's multiple characters, right? There's like three main characters. You got 2B, A2, and 2S, right? So when you're doing the first playthrough, you play as 2B, and then you have A2 as like a support character, right? Not A2, 2S as a support character. And so when you play through it again, you get 2S's perspective, right? Going through some of the same events, but not exactly the same. You know what I mean? It's like the same periods of like the timeline of the story, but a different perspective. There's certain times where 2S will go off on his own, and you don't. When you're playing as 2B, you don't even think about what he's doing, right? But in the second playthrough, you're doing that part, right? But it's not a roguelike. It's just a very different experience in terms of how the narrative is because the playthrough is a lot shorter for 2S. It's like probably I want to say maybe 5 hours, 4 hours, depending. Whereas my first playthrough 2B, it was like 20. So
Damn.
it's a lot shorter because obviously you know what you're doing. You're like for me, I'm very comfortable with the game at this point. Um, and then you beat it, and then you have a chance. You can play it again, right? So right now I'm on the third the third playthrough with A2, right, which is the third character. Which in the first two playthroughs, her character is kind of like a question mark. Like you don't really know what part she plays in the whole grand scheme of things. But in terms of like the narrative and how things open up, I think it's brilliant. It's a very unique. It's a very unique game. It surprised me, man. Like this game for me is like for me it's like top 10. Like I love the game. It's
Wow.
fantastic. The characters, the story. Like I actually like there was a mission, right? Because this whole like the narrative of the game is the androids, the robots, and the humans, right? So it's like you got these three different types, and the androids serve the humans, right? So their job is to kind of keep things going, and the machines are mostly bad, right? So the androids, they're protecting the humans, they're doing their part as part of the Yorha initiative, and some of the machines are good, some of the machines are bad, right? So as you're playing through the game, at the beginning, like you don't really give a shit about the machines at all, right? You're killing them for most of the game, right? But what's so cool about it is that some of the machines aren't bad, like they're actually good, and they actually start to develop like feelings and emotions, right? Which a lot of the androids say, hey, that's a lie. They can't feel that, right? They can't feel, they can't have emotions, they can't think for themselves. And so you're going through the game, you're meeting different machines. That's part of like side quests and stuff, which I highly recommend doing. And you see how they actually do like they do have like their own type of feelings and emotions, and like it makes you care about them. It makes you care about the stories and the characters, and like you get to see each point from the android's perspective and then the robot's perspective, right? And so yeah, it was very surprising to me, to be able to have like to feel emotion from the story, which is not something I was expecting. So for me, the game's a freaking masterpiece, bro. I love it. I'm not done with it fully. Again, I got that third playthrough, and I think they said five playthroughs is where you get the full experience, right? But those last two are supposed to be like a lot shorter, right? So the meat and potatoes is like probably the first three, and then you do the last two, and if I'm correct, I think they're like mainly cutscenes. To kind of put the whole picture together. But for me, from the narrative, from the combat, it's a freaking masterpiece, man. I love it. So highly recommend Nier Automata if anybody hasn't played that game. It's old at this point. I mean, it's like 8 years old at this point.
Right
And
on.
I played it on PC. So, and I think at this point I've got like 40 hours into the game. So I'm chugging through, man. I'm chugging through.
Yeah, dude. And so that's it for you, I presume, when it comes to like current games.
I did also play Dead Space Remake. Yeah, but
Ooh.
this was prior to Nier, so I did play Dead Space Remake, and I mean I played Dead Space One, I think 2 years ago, and I enjoyed it, liked it a lot. And the remake is crazy, bro. Like that first couple hours, it was so much more scary than the original. So much more. Like the use of audio and how they designed the audio. Great job, man. Great job. Because that shit was scary, man. Shit got me. Got those jump scares. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was great. So you definitely play the game with headphones
Oh, you got
because
to.
the audio's great. The gameplay is great. Yeah, just an overall great game. Visually, like holy shit, bro. What a looker. Like such a good looking game, man.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So overall, highly recommend. I think everybody knows about Dead Space at this point. Kind of sucks that they're not going to do the second one because I guess EA said it didn't sell well enough, but whatever.
It's a shame these companies are having like unrealistic expectations when it comes to these single player experiences. It's not
Yeah.
a Fortnite. It's not a live service game. But like don't have the same standard for different kind of games. Like you should they should know better. They have the sales figures and they have the
Yeah.
projections, so they have more information than we do, and so they should have clear and more realistic expectations for a single player remake. You know.
Yeah. The only thing I remember is on the PC version, there's like this little tiny micro stutter that is unfortunately throughout the whole game.
Oh
So
jeez.
that is a known issue. Like if you go on Steam and you look at the reviews, people will mention it. It's called traversal stutter, and I think it's something that is a common thing for UE5 games, which I'm
Mm,
not sure if Dead Space is or not, because it can be in other games, but it's not terrible. It for me, it didn't ruin the experience at all. But it's something to know. Like you'll notice it and think, "Hey, what's going on with my game?" But it's a minor thing. It will go away. I have a high end rig, and it doesn't matter. It's just how the
it's
port is.
it,
But
it's the whatchamacallit, it's the game. It's the software
yeah,
issue.
yeah, it's a software issue. Yeah, it's like I said, if it's made in UE5, that's the reason why. Because UE5 is, in my opinion, a shitty engine, bro. Like it's crappy, man.
It's unoptimized at the time of this recording. There's a bunch of UE5 games that are out right now that have been out for a while and that are still unoptimized. Like what's that one spell magic shooter? It's a first person Nordic game. Immortals of Avium. That's a UE5 and that's a UE5 title, but it just wasn't optimized, man. It's unfortunate, but what can you do?
Yeah, I wonder
It's
if Star Wars Jedi, what was it called? Jedi Survivor, the new one. I don't think that's UE5 actually.
mm,
I think
I
that
think
might be
that came
Dice's
out.
engine. I forgot what they call it.
That
What it's called.
that
That game is bad on
came.
PC. Like it's bad.
Yeah, yeah. I think the tickets is too new, and these consoles have been out for a while now. I think maybe PS6, next generation Xbox. Maybe hopefully it'll be powerful enough to run these games at a more reasonable frame rate.
Yeah, I wish all games ran on the Decima engine. That engine's crazy, bro. Like
Very very versatile.
Kojima's crazy, man. Him and that team, what's it?
Gorilla.
Gorilla.
Yeah,
Yeah, those guys are nuts, man.
yeah, dude. Speaking of Gorilla, let's talk about that lawsuit that's going on right now.
Ah, nice segue.
Pretty good segue. There's a current lawsuit between Sony and Tencent concerning a project that looks similar to the Horizon series that has already made an impact, as Light of Mortrum removed some things that Sony called out in the ongoing litigation. This article, by the way, comes from Game Rant. While references to Horizon were seemingly removed from the Light of Mortrum's Steam page, Tencent subsidiary Polis Quest also revealed the game's release window. On July 25th, a lawsuit was filed in California official court by Sony against Tencent and its
Hmm.
subsidiary Polis Quest regarding the upcoming open-world game Light of Mortrium. Sony
Damn,
accused
dude.
Tencent of creating a slavish clone of the Horizon series and said that the gameplay elements and character designs were from Horizon were ripped off to create the new title. Let's
I don't
see.
get these DPS switches.
Even though Tencent initially approached Sony to
I don't understand these
license the
DPS switches. Like
Horizon
they're
IP for
going
a potential
ballistic
mobile
when they got
spin-off in
fucking the
2024, Sony
other
rejected the
enemy team. This
pitch.
doesn't make any sense to me.
What do you think so far of this story?
I think it's crazy, man, that there's teams and leaders, more importantly, that are okay with that. Like, what did you think was gonna happen? You know, like they're gonna go out, they're gonna come after you. You know, it's just it seems counterintuitive to me to spend all the time to develop the game and then get sued and have to take the game off. Like, what was the point of that? You know, I don't
Right.
understand that. But honestly, in corporate America, dude, there's all kinds of things that happen that just don't make sense. You know,
Yes.
in my job it happens. I don't get it, but it that's probably why. Honestly, it's just more of the same when it comes to that. But it's also like, just make your own game, man. Like, I
Make your
know
own
it's a
game.
risk. I know it's a risk. A lot of new IPs fail, but we're in a period right now in the industry where I feel there's too much saturation. Like, there's too much of the same shit. It's just like make something new. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And this
Make
is kind
something new.
of and this is going off of the announcement a couple years ago that there was about a dozen Horizon projects. You remember that? There was like the remake, which just came out. There's a
Oh
MMO.
yeah.
There's a multiplayer game, which is a separate game. There was a couple other sequels in production. A VR game that came out already. So a total was about a dozen or so Horizon games. And then you got this studio approaching Sony about the 13th game. And so, of course, they were going to say no.
Yeah.
And I could, if I had to play devil's advocate, I could kind of sympathize with the idea because Sony has been releasing mobile ports of their games. Like, I believe Death Stranding is playable on mobile and a couple other titles, which I don't recall at the top of my head. So I could kind of see that angle, but the fact that they said no
All right, one down.
and first I should go back. The fact that they started production without the okay is a fucking insane move, and the fact that they were told no and continued is just it's just insane. It doesn't make any sense. You're just you're
Right.
wasting your
You're shooting
corporate money.
yourself in the foot, man.
Yeah. All right, so I'm going to continue with the article. While Sony's lawsuit against Tencent remains in place, Tencent and Polaris Quest made some changes in response. As reported by the Game Post, the Steam page for Light of Mortrium now has a different description and new pictures that seemingly remove any references to the Horizon series. While the initial description for Light of Mortrium referenced mechanicals and colossal machines similar to the ones in the Horizon series, these have been altered to be broader in scope. Light of Mortrium's description states that players must survive an unforgiving land against formidable bosses and challenges. Several images for Light of Mortrim have been changed to remove any references to Alloy lookalike as a robotic penguin, and dog mascots now appear on the game's key art. Additionally, Light of Mortrim was given a tentative release window of Q4 2027. Although Light of Mortrim has made changes to its game in response to the litigation, it's not only the title has done so. The ongoing lawsuit between Nintendo and Pocket Pair resulted in the hit survival game Power World making changes that removed any references to throwing a ball at a monster, much like how a Pokemon trailer throws a ball at a monster, I guess. Let's see. That seems to be about it. The lawsuit continues. The game is due to be out Q4 2027, so we got a couple years until then.
Jeez,
Um,
that's a while. I thought it was getting ready to come out like now.
right.
If it's that, oh man, that's a
Well,
crazy situation.
the only silver lining right now is that the game isn't out yet, so they have an opportunity to change things before release, and they have
Yes.
just over 2 years to do that. So, and that's not even regarding delays. So they have 2 years to make changes and to present this to the court that it's not a one-to-one ripoff of Horizon, which it is at this point. But given a year and a half, that could change. Whether they're going to do that is the question.
Right, yeah. Honestly, I don't even think Horizon's like that good a series to try to rip off, you know? Like I thought that shit was boring. I played Zero Dawn. I was falling asleep, like how you
Oh,
fell asleep with Death Stranding. That was me with
Jesus.
Zero Dawn, bro.
That, oh,
That was tough to get through, man. I did beat it
God.
though, but yeah, I don't know.
Damn, and that's
But yeah,
that's an action
it's
game, by the way. That's a,
yeah.
that's more of an
Oh
insult.
man. So maybe they can take notes from the boring and make it fun, you know?
Right, just play with it.
But yeah, to your point, they have a lot of time left to make changes. So, and it is weird too, because like with Power World, that game came out and they got sued, and it was fine. Like I mean, I'm assuming they made the changes and now they're good. So who knows, man?
What a wild situation. All right, let's talk about Mafia: The Old Country. Mafia: The Old Country. Well, before I start, I should state that the article comes from Gamer Mafia: The Old Country is now available on PC and consoles, with several early indicators suggesting it's off to a modest start relative to the other standards set by its predecessors. While it's too soon to appear to be tracking behind one of the previous entries in the Mafia series. The first announced in August 2024, Mafia: The Old Country was released for PS5, Xbox Series X, PC on August 8, 2025. The Hangar 13 developed game currently holds a strong rating on OpenCritic with an average score of 77 and a 72% recommendation rate. While it's received praise for its production values and return to light story-driven combat, some reviewers have also criticized the Old Country for playing it too safe and thus lacking novelty of its predecessors. I want to speak to the franchise as a whole with my experience of the series. I've played Mafia 1 Remake. I played Mafia 2. I more recently beat Mafia 3. And I will be playing Old Country. And so, what I would say that's unique to this Hangar 13 developed series is that they are shorter, more focused third person games compared to its more popular competitor GTA. This is a typically 10-15 hour third person historical timepiece that features amazing production value in terms of writing, presentation, cutscenes, facial animation. All of that is top notch. If you even go back to the Mafia 1 remake, it's amazing. It's better than a lot of films I'm seeing nowadays in terms of like again presentation. In terms of gameplay, it's probably more of the weaker points of the series. It's kind of always been okay at best. Mafia 3 was kind of serviceable because it had a little bit more of a open-ended approach, but that was also kind of its uh, somewhat of its like double-edged sword kind of thing because they went too far when it comes to like going open-ended, open world, and just filling the gameplay with a bunch of busy quests and a lot of repetitive structures that just made it boring. So, Mafia Old Country just came out after the negative criticism of Mafia 3, which was very much warranted and very fair in my opinion. Now they're going back to roots and making it again a more focused, shorter 10-15 hour experience, whereas Mafia 3 was more like 30-40. Mafia 1 Remake, Mafia 2 were like 10-15. Old Country 10, I think it's about that range too. So the they heard the criticism, they responded, and they're going back to roots. So I'm happy with that. Um, the game came out to a smaller price tag too. I believe it's 50 or 60 if you want to get like the deluxe edition. And so everything I've seen from the game has looked incredible. It takes place in Sicily, so that's again a very novel locale for an open world game or a game generally. And with the production value of Hangar 13, it looks incredible. I'm going to be playing this. Um, I I want to say sometime in September. Whenever I beat MGS3 Remake, I'll be running that for sure. But I'm very excited. Let's get back to the
Yeah.
article. Let's see. Following the Friday launch, the Old Country peaked at uh, 35,000 concurrent Steam players on Saturday, August 9th. According to the data scraped by SteamDB, this puts it well behind the third mainline installment, which would be Mafia 3, which reached just under 48,000 concurrent users on Valve's storefront back in 2016. As of late afternoon, the Old Country ranked third on Steam's top sellers by total product related revenue, only behind Counter Strike 2 and Battlefield 6. However, its position may be reflective of somewhat quiet release period of the year, which is also commercial performance of the game itself. Okay, so it's kind of doing okay, but then again, the stats are only for their opening day. It's only been about the time of the recording a day and a half, or less so than that. So it's too early to tell. The numbers are okay at best. Mafia has always been kind of I wouldn't say niche, but I would say it's more of like a it's not as well known as a GTA or
Yeah,
anything
it's not.
or any of its competitors like that.
Right, yeah.
So it just doesn't appeal to that to that player base. It's not This is not an open world kind of game where you can beat up hookers and put in a cheat code and get a helicopter and get a jetpack and shit. It's not that kind of game. It takes itself a little more seriously, and the characters and the story reflect that too. So back to the article. How many units could have Mafia: The Old Country sold by now? According to the average estimates from Gamealytic and PlayTracker, the Steam version of Mafia: The Old Country sold approximately 186,000 in its first 38 hours of the market. However, a May 25 study of Game Discovery Co. discovers that reasonably performing games tend to sell 20 times their concurrent user peak on Valve storefront in their first week. Could this potentially imply that this could be upwards of 700,000 units, which would be pretty solid for a game of this size and of this price point, which is a $50 price point, or 60 if you get the deluxe. Um, let's see. For clarity, single player games tend to be front loaded, so they trail off, at least when it comes to single player non RPG titles. Okay, so what do you think so far of these sales numbers?
It seemed pretty decent, honestly. I was a little worried because you were going through those Steam numbers, and those are pretty low.
Yeah, yeah,
Because usually with the Steam numbers, like whenever it's like the first day or two, that's when it hits its peak, and it usually never goes higher than that. At least from games that I've seen. But yeah, the 700K is not bad. I mean, it's a $50 game. It's not as big, like you said, as GTA, so it's gonna have its a different audience, and with it being a lower price game, it probably was a lower budget, so they probably have different sales expectations. So,
exactly.
and yeah, I mean, it looks quality, you know. So
And
I think it's about what I expected for it, honestly.
yeah, I agree with the smaller runtime, the smaller scope. It's for sure going to be a smaller budget, but the production per inch, from what I've seen in the trailers and the gameplay, look incredible. Like these games have always pushed graphics, and Old Country it doesn't seem like an exception to that. It just looks incredible in motion. I'm again highly anticipating this game. If it wasn't for MGS3 remake coming out late this month, I would have bought this
Yeah,
day one and been would have been playing it. But yeah, definitely. If you're a fan of GTA, if you're a fan of like LA Noir and games that are a little more serious and or more narrative driven, definitely check this out. Cheaper price, shorter runtime, respects your. These games typically have good pacing, with the exception of Mafia 3. Have really good pacing, good characters, good story, decent gameplay, and a lot of memorable moments. All right,
yeah.
so
If it's anything like Mafia One remake, it'll be worth your time because Mafia One remake was fantastic.
oh yeah, you got to play two, man. Two is really good, really
Yeah, I
good.
know it's been sitting in the backlog.
It that and that's a remaster, not a remake, so it plays like an older generation game, and it doesn't feel good to play. However, the writing and the story is amazing. There's some moments in that game that I just literally could not believe that this. I'm not gonna. I can't say it because it's this thing you just have to see for yourself.
Right.
But I'll put it this way: I've never seen a game do this in my life, and or a movie. Like I'm not gonna say anymore. I'm not gonna say anymore. But just
Wow.
I would recommend it. I would recommend it.
I gotta
Uh,
get to it.
gotta get to it, man. All right, so we kind of touched on Battlefield 6 briefly in that point there. Do you want to talk about Mafia? Sorry, Battlefield 6.
Yes, I played the beta. I played a few matches. I don't have a whole lot of time on it, but um, it looks great, runs good. I haven't played the past two. I think I played a little bit of 2042, but my experience with Battlefield is pretty much Battlefield 1. I played that when it came out, played it for a bit, and that's one of their best multiplayer games for me. Like, it was just like from the atmosphere, the gameplay, the sound effects, like the sound effects when you kill somebody, it's freaking perfect. Like that chime that it makes is amazing. The only issue I had with Battlefield 1 was that there wasn't a lot of weapons, right?
Hmm.
But the atmosphere and everything, and 6 seems good so far. It seems more like I was playing Domination, so it's not like the full scale map, but it seems like Battlefield, you know, seems like a return to form. When I played 2042, it didn't seem like it just because like they had those I think they call them specialist classes where it's like a specific role, right? And I think Battlefield's not really known for that, right? So this seems more like a return to form with like the standard four classes of assault, medic, support, and recon, which is like sniper. So it seems like a return to form, and it looks pretty good. Although I noticed some screen tearing when I was playing on the performance mode, so I'm not sure what's up with that.
Oh damn.
Yeah, it was weird. I was like, what the heck's going on? So it's a beta, so I'm sure they'll figure it out. But that's something I noticed.
What's nice about this new Battlefield is that they've been saying it from the get go that it's going to be more boots ground, a little more realistic compared to your Call of Duties. It's now kind of it's
Yeah, Call of
Nicki
Duty's off the rails,
Minaj.
bro.
You got
Yeah, it's
Scream. You got Chainsaw Massacre guy. Like it's crazy. Like,
Scream's funny.
like
That's
that's a good
just
one.
funny.
It's
Yeah,
good, but I don't know, man. Like the Fortnite id the game, and
yeah.
if
Oh, they definitely
I
do.
don't
Yeah,
know, it's just not how the franchise started. It started as a military shooter, and now it's like Fortnite but in first person. So
yeah.
I don't know.
They
It's
trivialized it a lot. It's a shame. So Battlefield definitely more serious. It's not gonna have that. But we'll see what EA does. You know, post launch support is super important. So they might have a good foundation and they might kill it when it comes out. So with EA, you always got to stay on your toes, man.
oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Another franchise I wanted to talk about real quick is Splitgate 2. Splitgate 2 is a first person competitive game developed by you know what? I actually forget who developed the game, but the game has been out for a couple weeks, and the main inspirations for this game is Halo and Portal. So it's a first person shooter that plays very much like Halo. It's very floaty, no ADS, very fast paced, and then it's got portals where you can shoot through, you can teleport through, you can send grenades, fire bullets or whatever you want. And when this game was being showcased at a panel at a recent game show, one of the developers put a hat on that said "Make shooters great again," and this guy had to go out of his way for some reason to talk shit about other shooters, and it was a really strange situation because like when you have to go out of your way to talk down to other games, that just tells me that you don't have confidence in your game. You know what I mean? It's like a girl who talks shit about other girls to make themselves feel better kind of deal. It's like why would you do that? The
Also,
short
it was a dev
it
doing
was
that.
it was a dev,
Oh yeah.
and so the game comes out, you know, comes out to mostly solid critical acclaim, like a 7.5, and the game gets put off and gets sent back to beta because the numbers are low. They implemented a battle royale mode in this game that which it didn't need, and I played and I found it to be very confusing and not fun. And so the game got some criticism due to that, and due to other reasons too, and was pulled off. So it's now in beta
Wow.
again. So the irony is that trying to make shooters great again, but then you can't even make your own game. Fucking, you can't even make a solid
Damn.
launch. You know?
I didn't know that it went back into beta because I played like one match of it and I uninstalled it just because like it's not for me. But I've never heard of that. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. And I thought it was
Yeah.
solid. Like, I thought it was very familiar to Splitgate 2. I actually put a decent amount of Splitgate. I played like maybe 50 hours of Splitgate 1.
Wow.
I enjoyed it. Like, it's a Halo Bungie gameplay feel with portals, and it's a really interesting dynamic. It's very
Yeah.
fun, quick time to kill, quick respawn rate. So it's just casual fun. And Splitgate 2 was mostly similar, but that battle royale mode sucked. The cosmetics were not interesting at all to me, just like in the first game. And so I don't know, it just wasn't much for me. And now this comes out and they pull back their game.
Hog here, hog here.
So it's kind
That's
of
that's crazy work.
it's just not it's not good enough to be
Work, good work.
good in this industry right now when it comes to live service games. You have to be unique, great, or first. And this game is neither of those things. So it's just one
Yeah.
example of like the volatility of the gaming industry, specifically in the live service space.
Yeah, it reminds me of the only thing I can remember that's similar to that is a game called what was it called? Foam Stars. I don't know if you heard of that.
Nope.
That was a live service. Sony was pushing that, and I was like, dude, that shit looks whack, bro. And it came out. I did play it like for like an hour, and I was like, yeah, this is not it. And I think after a month the game died. Like that was it.
Jesus.
They pulled the plug. So yeah, I mean, dude, that's wasted development time. That's what it seems like
Yeah.
to me.
Oh man. Well, we'll see if the game pans out, and when it does come back, I will definitely reinstall it and play it and report back if it's any good. But time will tell, and we'll see, man. Because
Right.
it's only been out for about a month, got pulled down, and then it's in beta
Yeah.
indefinitely. It seems like.
That that live service is crazy because you remember X Defiant? Remember when
Oh
I,
yeah. Oh
I
yeah. We
got you
played
on
it.
that, dude? I love that game. And they did like an update and it killed it. I stopped playing it. And then like I want to say like maybe 6 months later, the EA it was not EA, Ubisoft pulled the plug
Ubisoft.
on
Yeah.
it. I was like, damn, that's crazy, bro. Because it felt good to play like as a shooter.
It was fun.
I
It
was
was like
good at it, bro. I
it
got
was
some
like
snipes. It was
yeah.
nice.
It was like an alternative Call of Duty. It was fun.
Yeah, I really liked it, but I feel like that game was more successful than what it was given credit for, and they still pulled it.
Then again, we have a developer who, oh, no, publisher who has these crazy expectations when it comes to
What a difference.
sales and
Oh
revenue.
yeah,
So it's just,
Yubi's in financial ruin, bro.
yeah,
Those guys are barely above water, man.
yeah, and so the fact that Shadows came out and was such a hit is like a blessing because that game was kind of up in the air for a long time, even before the game came out because of the culture war shit, and then it's like post Ghost of Tsushima, and so
Yeah, I think
and then
they delayed it too.
they delayed it, and then we've already had an influx of these Japanese-based games like a Neo or Sekiro. Like we've already had all these Japanese-based combat games, and so I don't know if people have been asking for an AC game set in Japan for over 10 years since like the PS3 generation. And so the fact that they were so late to the game and that they already had all this stiff competition, like I didn't know if this game was going to sell well, and it did, even with all the culture war shit. And so that's a huge win. So again, like I personally I love AC, so I'll be playing that at some point. But there's so many I got to catch up on. I got to catch up on Odyssey, on maybe the
Good
one
luck.
after.
That
Uh,
game's like 100 hours, dude.
Jesus, and then there's the
From what
other
I
one.
hear, yeah,
There's the Valhalla. That one's like 150, 200. Like it's crazy.
yeah, yeah. Too long, man.
Too
For
long.
games that are just don't seem good enough to me.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, man. I think that's gonna do that'll do for this episode 28 of the Gaming for Fools podcast.
Yeah.
Eric, tell people where they can find you and watch your videos and catch up with you.
Yeah, you can find me Arclay on YouTube. I haven't uploaded in a while, but I'm getting situated back in, and I'll have something up soon. But yeah, hit me up on YouTube, Arclay.
Arclight, yep. You definitely make a comment on the video. I'll pin it so
Oh yeah,
you can be
for
there.
sure.
And then I'm Pliskin Plays. You can find me at Pliskin Plays on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitch, and streaming pretty regularly, random games or Overwatch. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon.